Hello and welcome to this week's look at action and stunts on film and television. Thank you very much indeed for joining me once again. We had a situation last week where we covered the album sleeve, Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here album sleeve from 1975, and of course The Burning Man, who was Ronnie Rondell, on the cover with Danny Rogers. We segued that, having a look at both of them, into firstly that particular shoot and then Chips, the television series, where of course Danny took a major role as stunt double. And then on the very day that show went out on YouTube last week, it was announced by Ronnie's family that he had sadly passed away at the age of 87. He was, again, we use the word pioneer, a pioneer in the world of action and stunts. If you didn't have individuals like Ronnie Rondell, you would not have the performers you have today. You wouldn't have the type of action, the type of stunts that you see today that are commonplace in major motion pictures and major television series. You name it, they did it first, and now they're finding new ways to enhance what has already gone before. He, of course, was one of the founder members of Stunts Unlimited, that wonderful organization whereby you don't apply, you are picked by your peers, by those people who are already on board, and they choose you and they go, this guy or this girl, as it is now, will be very useful to us in years to come. They've got great skills, they can do this, we should have them on board. And that's a decision made across that board, founded of course by Hal Needham, Glen and Ronnie Rondell. The three of them, the trinity, if you will, of action adventure. They were the guys that said, okay, let's do this, let's create something whereby the action and the stunts that we need to create are unlimited. There is no, if you can think of it, we can do it. And that's pretty much what they did. And the organization is still going today. And it's one of the very best around. Ronnie, of course, was a major factor in action then and up until fairly recently as well, with a family connection, of course. But, of course, being in that organisation, he was there. He was the second unit director on McHugh. McHugh was the movie, we've covered it already, way back when. It was one of the very first movies, I think, that we looked at when we started this YouTube channel at first. And it contains the first ever cannon roll captured on film, and that was designed by Stunts Unlimited, tested by Hal Needham, who, of course, legend will tell you that he broke his back testing the thing, and eventually driven by Gary McClarty, but second unit directed and assisted by Ronnie Rondell. We will have a look at that a bit later on. What I've tried to do in this little tribute is to try and put together a few bits and pieces that you may not have seen before. Ronnie, of course, as with many performers, will have got himself jobs, acting jobs. And we're going to have a couple of looks at him in varying shows over the years, early shows back in the early 60s, where he's playing a role. But also, we'll have a look at that McHugh piece as well. There's a nice piece where he's talking to camera in relation to this, so we'll have a look at that at the end. And then we will regroup and come back after this. Enjoy.
Picture this, a full-size car carrying a full load of explosives. There's bombs in the trunk, mortar shells in the back, and even more TNT under the hood. What driver would get behind this wheel?
Ronnie Rondell now in the car, 35 miles an hour, and watch what will happen.
Ronnie Rondell has been igniting audiences with explosive stunt performances for over 30 years.
Good effects, that's the secret.
With credits that range from Charlie's Angels to Twins, Ronnie's flair for creating illusions for the camera is a family tradition. His father, Ron Sr., began performing stunts in silent pictures.
Dad would take me to the set, and he would normally hand me over to the stuntmen, and they would take care of me during the day while he was working and give me all the props and the swords and the guns to play with. So I think that's probably where my fascination for the stunt work really got me started. I had a gymnastic background, and I was a 3-meter springboard diver in high school. And when I got out of the Navy, I told my dad I wanted to be a stuntman. He said, well, go ahead.
Ronnie's gymnastic skills and willingness to give 100% soon got him noticed. On one of his signature stunts, a trampoline flip over an exploding cannon, he came so close, he singed his eyebrows. Over the years, Ronnie's taken his share of hard knocks, like the time he rolled a car for the TV movie, The Monk.
We were doing quite a large chase in San Francisco, and Glen and I were in the car. This is before pipe ramps and things. I mean, you had to hit these roll ramps right and get the car turned to get it over. And I got in a little too fast. We got the car over, but it never turned over on the ground. It just turned over, flew down into the BART system, and snapped the roll cage off, collapsed the entire top on it, and completely pancaked the top right down on the door frames.
Despite such close calls, Ronnie has always been a stickler for safety. This behind-the-scenes footage shot by fellow stuntman Lauren James shows Ronnie performing a fire burn for the movie Ice Station Zebra.
Fire is dangerous. It's bad news in the kitchen and on the set. It's the amount of control and safety that you use to deal with the fire. I think everybody has a fear of fire. We know what it's like to be burned. And I think when that's transferred onto the film and you see somebody bursting into flames and then falling down, the safety guys come in and put him out. There's a moment, are you all right? He jumps up and goes, woo, hot, yes. But everybody's fine.
So with that in mind, I thought we'd have a look at an early appearance. This is the Jack Benny Show. Guys around the table. Benny, not in shot at the moment, is doubling the guy in the middle. Right, that's the character that he's playing. Jack Benny, for those people who don't know, wonderful comedian, doesn't have to do a great deal. It's all facial expressions. That is Ronnie Rondell throwing. He's there on the left of screen. Poor bloke in the middle is that's Jack Benny. Look, the hand on the face, and it's a look. You can see the audience responding to it. The guy getting a beating here is Saul Gorse. If that name is familiar, wonderful stuntman. It came from outer space. There is an extraordinary fire job. That's Saul Gorse. Not entirely convinced that whole bar was supposed to topple over there. Nonetheless, Ronnie gets another punch in. Bosh, bosh, bosh. The guy with the hat on the left of shot there is Paul Baxley. He just looks at him and looks at the audience and gets a laugh. They then bang, hit him again, bang, hit him again, and excuse me, sir. Paul Baxley's really quite tall, isn't he? I haven't thought of that. Bang. So there's a lot of it. This is evidently a rehearsal, and then he does this again, trying to get a laugh. Look. And then taps him on the arm. He's not doing an awful lot, but he's getting the reaction from the crowd. I think Saul has earned every penny of his fee in this little fight. He's all over the place. Oh, awkward. And then they do this, and they pick up a chair each, and they hit him with 3 chairs. Oh, you've got to be so careful when you hit somebody with a piece of furniture, even a proper piece of furniture, and then dump him out the window. Guy says, well done, boys. Job's a good one. Doesn't look terribly keen, does he? And then he is approached. Well done, lads. Great job. To deliver this line.
Okay, Morgan, you're next.
Doesn't look ready, does he? No. So, yeah, nice little lineup that. And Saul Gorse, Clyde Howdy, and Ronnie Rondell and Paul Baxley are the guys in that shot there. So then we take a look at the Munsters. This is 66, I think. Ronnie with the flowers. Wilting Flowers, Freddie, Ronnie Rondell. And this is King of the Sun. This is that high fall that I mentioned in the podcast. He's, 45 feet, 50 feet up maybe? He's got to hit this roof here on the right-hand side, and he's holding on to this on the way down, but he won't be able to see his landing area. So it's moving, it's coming down. He's a high diver, knows about positioning himself in the air, and knows he has to get away from that upright. So he has to let go of it with his feet as it gets to the point of no return, which is right now, and he jumps out of the way and tries to get beyond the end of that pole and then land into the roof, which evidently will then land into the landing bay underneath. It's very, very good. It really is. Dragnet, here's an episode from 1967. He's playing a character. This guy wanders over. There he is, look. So he's in the driving seat there. This guy comes over. He's evidently wanted. He's a wanted man. And there's a bit of conversation going on between the two of them. And he's just waiting for that moment to drag the door and drag him out. And there's a kidnapping for the purpose of this episode. There's been a kidnapping. And the individual that they're looking for is actually in the boot. She's been kept in the boot. And then all the agents come running out, throw him to the floor. Not a hair out of place with Ronnie. Looking very, very well. Cuffs are slapped on him. And there we go. So he's the protagonist in this. But he used to get a lot of that because he can act. You know, he's a good actor. Give him dialogue. Give him lines. Also, keeping stuff in the family. This is Chopper 1. Not familiar with... That's Dirk Benedict, look. Faceman from the A-Team. And from Battlestar Galactica, if you want to go in that direction. I don't remember this show. This was 1974. I haven't heard a great deal about it, but evidently it's a sort of it's like Blue Thunder without the gadgets, if you will. These guys are looking for. There we go. So there's a little boat that's turned over. They found it. It's a little rescue thing. So they're going to come down, hover as close to that boat as possible. There's the guy hanging on to the hull of the boat. And Dirk's at the controls, and your man here says, right, I'm going to get out and jump in. Keeps it nice and steady. Opens the door and drops into the water. Nice and gently. Again, combination of static shots, studio shots, which this would be, and then location shots, which that would be. And dropping into the water. But the thing to bear in mind here is that, of course, the stunt coordinator on this particular episode is Ronnie Rondell. Ronnie plays a little role later on as well, which we'll have a look at. And hanging onto the boat, playing the little character here, who now is being rescued by Chopper 1. And... going to get rescued. The door's going to get open. You can see the downdraft. It's not very... They create such downdraft. It is difficult. You are working against yourself when you're anywhere near it. Reaches up to get hold. Opens the back door, which is no mean feat when you're holding the controls. And in gets the young man, soaking wet, but safe. And that is Ronnie's son, Reed Rondell, who took that role there. But yeah, I don't remember Chopper 1. We had it was a television series we used to see quite a lot in Australia, or from Australia, called Chopper Squad. That was more about air-sea rescue, really. Similar to that type of situation where there would be a tourist or there would be somebody in trouble and these boys are sent out. This is police helicopter work. I mean, it's very clearly police stuff. So we didn't have this. If we did, anybody remember this? If you're in the UK, do you remember seeing this? Was this something that was shown over here? Obviously, you had it over there in the States. And any helicopter fans will be able to fill us in with a few bits and pieces. But nice little logo there for the show. Jim McMullen. I don't remember who he was, but we all know who Dirk Benedict was and is. Of course, made it very big with Battlestar Galactica and the A-Team. And so here's the scenario. There is another hostage situation. Somebody's holding a gun to this young lady here. There are two gunmen. That's one. The other one is Ronnie Rondell, and we'll see him in a moment. There's some sort of general negotiation going on between the boys in blue and your man at the window, who's using the young lady as, some sort of decoy here. Getting some points across, holding a gun to her. The chopper is sent in and is presumably keeping an eye on what's going on at the Sheraton West Hotel as it flies along. Now, coming out of the front of this hotel, you'll see all three of them, the two gunmen and the young lady who is being their captive. Here she is, and at the back there with the shotgun is Ronnie Rondell. Ronnie getting into the driving position, so he's going to be involved here. They commandeer the police car, and off they go. A simple case of really trying to outrun. I mean, you're going to have trouble outrunning a helicopter, right? But obviously the script suggests that this is what the deal is. So the chopper gets on after them. I was expecting, when I saw this scene for the first time, I've never seen this show before in my life, so I was expecting an idea of the chopper coming down and having a bit of a cat and dog thing with the police car. There's police cars behind it. They've got the guys in the air, right? We'll instruct you into here. Eye in the sky type of thing. But it doesn't really work out that way. It has quite a bizarre twist. As we'll see, the photography is very nice. They got a lot of stuff going on down here. I don't know where this is filmed. Malibu, very possibly, or California. I don't know whether it's filmed in Los Angeles or not. Anyway, as you would expect from a chopper-based show, lots of aerial shots. You are trying to keep an eye on the vehicle that is getting away and the perspective from the chopper. They're also doing that thing which they used to do. They don't do as much these days, but they used to do back then, where you had the pilot was the other guy and you saw the actor in the seat. So they swap them around. So they get to their destination and they are going to get into a plane. They're getting into a plane to then take off. That's their idea. Ronnie's going to take a few pot shots at the chopper. Dirk, reacting to that, gets into the plane and they set off on their merry way down this makeshift runway, and to see if they can indeed outrun the guys in the chopper. But evidently what's going to happen is the chopper's just going to sit right on top of it so that they can't go anywhere. I don't know who the pilot is here, but he's doing his utmost to try and spin that thing around. It's got the turning circle of a beagle, that thing. I mean, really just flew round. But again, the chopper on top of the plane, you're not going anywhere. There's absolutely no point to this at all. And again, it's going to make another run. In hindsight, probably should have edited this down. But, you know, you get take the rough with the smooth, don't you? So that's the situation. And again, that's those type of shots I was referring to. The pilot is actually the other side, and Dirk Benedict is giving the impression that he's flying from that point there. I don't know whether they do a great deal of that these days. Probably with the aid of CGI, they wouldn't need to. So what the guy in the plane thinks he's going to be doing at this point, I have no idea. Is he trying to ram the helicopter? The helicopter is very clearly trying to prevent him, and then he drives into an outhouse, which just happens to be they've driven by it once already. You think he'd have spotted it the first time, but no, drives clean into it. That chopper lands, and they run out. Ronnie is detained. And the show is over. Probably for the best. And when you see the black and whites turning up, you know it's all over. So, yes, little credits there. First gunman, Ronnie Rondell, Reed Rondell, the young boy, and Ronnie as the stunt coordinator. This from Grosse Pointe Blank, if you haven't seen it. One of my favourite movies. I love this opening sequence. And Ronnie is, of course, the guy that they are protecting in the doorway. I'm not giving anything away from the movie here, but if you haven't seen it, there he is with the silver hair, looking magnificent. Number of gunmen have been sent, hitmen have been sent to do the job. Mr. Cusack wants to make sure it's him. And he thinks, okay, there's been some sort of situation here. I think he's there to protect Ronnie, so he's unscrewing the silencer from his gun. Doesn't see Mr. Aykroyd, who is the other hitman, who then takes everybody out. They're going, what the hell is that gunfire? And he looks, and there he is emptying the rest of his guns into Ronnie, and then throws the guns on him. Bosh, have that. And goes away. And this is the fantastic McHugh.
We call it a cannon attached to the frame of the car, which has a solid log on the bottom. They put 8 inches of powder inside. And as he makes this turn to spin, he discharges the cannon, which drives the log down into the ground and shoots it like a shell and lifts the car over and starts it spinning. It's actually the first time it's ever been used for a film, and I think it's going to actually revolutionize the stunt work in terms of turning cars over.
So here it comes along the beach. The lead car pulls away slightly and bang, hits the button. Bang, bang. The surf, it's just fascinating. Oh, hits it there. They go in to check if he's okay. Gary McClarty behind the wheel. He is okay. He's pretty dazed, understandably. His body probably hasn't gone through something like that before. And look at what he's wearing. He's got a t-shirt on and he has elbow pads on. Gary McClarty is rock and roll.
I'm a member of Stunts Unlimited, that 26 stuntmen, and we all kind of work together, and we all kind of work stunts like this out amongst ourselves instead of one person handling it all. There's 5 guys in saying do this and do that, and so that's what Stunts Unlimited is all about.
So I thought we'd just take a look at the rolls that this thing does. There's the shots arriving, the special effects shot into the side of the car. Bang, cannon goes off, and it's complete turns. So there's 1, there is 2, that's 3, and finally a 4th. 4 rolls, not bad for a first attempt, was it? There you go, one of the very best. Ronnie Rondell, a great loss, and there will be many, many people working today in the US, maybe some in the UK as well, or the rest of Europe, but certainly in the US who have their career because of Ronnie Rondell. He may have been one of those guys that he saw at the very first. You may have seen him first, and they thought, wow, what's this guy all about? Some of those interesting little things. So I hope you enjoyed that. I put a few pieces together, and we wish his family and all of his friends and family, we wish you all the very best. Our thoughts and prayers are with you at this time. And Ronnie, wherever you are, sir, thank you for everything that you've done for the business. And we will continue to explore the world of action and adventure and stunts on this channel and on the podcast into the far distance. If you'd like to follow us, you do so simply by pushing the subscribe button. There'll be a little bell for notification, so do that and you'll be able to catch up on everything that we do here. There's a Linktree link in the notes field at the bottom. If you want to click that, you will find all of the social medias should you feel the urge to follow us on there. The podcast is on there as well, and a couple of other news articles and bits and pieces that I've contributed to over the years. And we'll do it all again next week, shall we? So until then, it's bye for now.